All right, so we'll call the meeting of the Town of Halifax Finance Committee to order at 7:08 p.m. It's Monday, January 14th. We're being recorded by Area 58. On tonight's agenda, budget discussions. Discuss Gordon Andrews from the Silver Lake Regional High School Committee attending next meeting. Reserve fund transfers and line item transfers, meeting minutes, mail, calendar, public participation, and adjournment. Since we have some scheduled guests, we'll go a little bit out of order of the agenda just to get some housekeeping items taken care of first. We don't have any mail. No. Nor do we have any reserve fund transfers or line item transfers, so we can strike both of those. On meeting minutes, we have one set of amended meeting minutes from Monday, December 17th, 2018. So these we voted to accept with one kind of minor correction that we made. So I think with these, because we voted to accept, as long as we see the correction that was made, which was on that first page there, I think technically as long as we're all okay with the way that it was corrected, then we can have Len sign them. We don't need to do another vote because we already voted to accept.
Thank you.
Also, thank you for doing that, Kathy.
You're welcome.
So the Monday, December 17th, the other set that we have is for Monday, January 7th, 2019. Members present were Fred, Len, Bill, and Melinda. Does anyone need a minute or two to just take a look at the minutes? I think we circulated these last week, right, Kathy? And then we just, as a group, kind of forgot to.
These ones were circulated via email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody need a moment for?
Nope.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion on the meeting minutes from Monday, January 7th, 2019.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, calendar we can take care of. I know we don't have a quorum for next week, but if everyone has their calendars out. We don't have a quorum for the 28th either, is that correct?
Correct.
21st is Martin Luther King.
Right, oh, right, yeah, that's why.
And we don't have a quorum on the 28th because I will not be
That's correct.
in the state.
All right, so then the next time we would be able to meet is Monday, February 4th.
I believe we had every Monday scheduled.
Right,
Yeah.
we were able to block it off
Yeah.
because you were able to, because you have capital planning, right?
Yeah, I blocked
Blocked
off
out.
every Monday starting the
June.
4th till June,
Excellent.
contingent upon travel. I think it's going to be easier if I just cancel the meetings as opposed to trying to remember to have them.
Right, okay. That's right, because then we asked to just, I think we, at the last,
Yeah.
we said we'll just block out all of February. Okay, so we don't have to take care of that, so awesome. So then we'll post for every Monday in February. And then we can start filling in, except for the 18th, because that's a holiday.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Sandy. Then we can start filling in some more of the department heads to attend to fill in information about the budget requests.
Can we talk about the general schedule for the budget?
Yeah,
Where we're at and where it's going?
yeah. So tonight's meeting, we scheduled the elementary school committee, which I think Summer's able to attend, but Gordon's not. The fire chief is gonna come in?
No.
Nope.
No.
He's not
No,
coming.
he's all set.
Okay.
I
He's all
talked
good?
to
Okay. And was Kathy Drynan able to come in tonight for health, or?
I actually didn't get a reply from Kathy.
Okay, that's fine. So I think one of the way we handled it last year, just to sort of expedite things, was that we looked through the most updated budget. I believe that we collectively voted on everything that was level funded. We voted to accept all the level funded just to sort of see where we were at then moving forward, and then for every level funded or decrease. And then I think for everything that was an increase request, that's when we, started to schedule in who we wanted to come in.
Okay.
Is that everyone else's, for everyone who was here, was that your collective memory as well? Because I remember the kind of mechanics of, we didn't have to go through every line, we just clustered all the lines.
Clustered the decreases, we clustered the level funded.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then did the rest individually, as I recall.
Yeah, so we should have time to do that tonight so that we can get a sense of sort of what's left in the shovel. It doesn't mean that we're not gonna have to go back to anything that we voted and re-vote on things that, we had voted to accept as level funded if we find ourselves in a crunch. But at least we can say like, okay, if we assume, the level service budget that we asked the department heads for, let's look at where the, kind of the movement is, especially on the increases and go forward. We know that the schools are gonna be,
Schools are a tough one, because we don't know what the Chapter 70 funding is yet. That's gonna be
Right.
coming up shortly.
So I
They're
think-
supposed to be changed, they might be changing the formula, so.
right, so we should probably, and I talked to Gordon Andrews tonight, and he said that, he would feel more comfortable waiting until after the governor's budget comes out, which would put the schools a little bit later, which I think is actually fine.
The 21st, it's usually in the next week.
Yeah. So then we can get them in sort of the beginning of February and start with them. But in the meantime, we'd at least have a sense of what other departments have any kind of major movement in any of their requests, and then start scheduling those folks in.
Yeah, the next school committee meeting is the 14th, which is an open session for the public to discuss the budget
Yeah.
as well, so.
Which they've given us already. Like you're pointing out, however, we already know what the budget is, we don't know what the assessments are.
Yeah.
Right.
Though, we probably should be able to put together a pro forma assessment.
So I think we can take care, I think, together tonight of going through the spreadsheet and doing all the level funds and the decreases and just sort of then having a sense of what's left over. And then we can work on scheduling folks to come in basically all of February, or every meeting that we're posted for February.
When are we supposed to get the rest of the budget requests, Sandy?
We're trying.
What's outstanding still?
All the blanks.
Highway is
Yeah.
one of the ones that are outstanding.
U.S. Highway.
There's
I do.
a process.
I think I have everybody that I think I got everybody.
Treasurer collector is there, I forgot to fill her in. Wage and personnel, I don't have, I'll try to figure out. I haven't filled any FinCons yet, I just wanted to check something for Sailor measures,
I think I saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in the email.
So highway surveyor, so that, the cemetery, that's also the highway.
And we talked to him today, and he's gonna work on that and he's gonna meet
This
with
week,
them.
yeah. So I almost, the reason why I was asking is I almost think if we're gonna do this carte blanche, all the level funding, then the decreases as one vote, we should probably wait till we have all the data so we know exactly what we're voting on. Because that'll be quick to go through and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless there's particular sections here that are already filled, then we could do like, I'm just thinking to get, if we've got some time tonight to, because we know that the other meetings are gonna get long for us. So for example, if we have, like we've got all of health and human services, we could take them by categories, I guess, and any category where we've got all the budget info, we could vote on those as we need to.
That works.
And then at least that way we've cut our burden a little bit for a future meeting.
Sure.
Okay. But yeah, I see your point that we're not gonna have the whole picture tonight. So if the chief's not coming in at 7:15, that means that summer's scheduled for 7:45. Okay, so we actually have time now to go through and do that.
She did say she might be late.
Okay, so let's then knock out what we can. As long as everyone's on board with that.
And none of mine, I think. All mine had increases to some
This is
degree.
114. Is that the one you have? Okay, cool. Does everyone have the budget spreadsheet dated 1/14/2019, 1:03 p.m.?
Yep.
Okay, there's an extra copy here just in case we need one. Okay. So let's look to the categories where we have completed budget info. So as of right now, general government, we're still missing some FY20 requests. If we go to page 2, public safety, police, we have,
This is an increase. I don't think any of my departments had any decreases or total
Okay.
level service, they all had something increased to some degree.
Okay. So line 48, police expense is a level request.
Yep, well, we need to probably discuss that one too, because there was a potential $30,000 contingency in there.
Okay, so then let's hold. Okay, public safety fire. There's movement on all of those.
Yeah, fire needs to, I think, Sandy, I don't know if you saw the chief's email or not about adjusting the account numbers. So, because I couldn't tell if on the footnotes, the dollar amounts that he had in there were included in the total, but he said that they weren't. So the 46,750, I think he said was all he was
Yeah,
requesting.
that includes, it's all included in the total, I just got
Yep.
to rename some.
Yep, okay.
All right, so we'll hold that one as well. Public safety, other public safety, assistant building inspector wages. So anything with wage we should hold on, right, Sandy?
Well, you don't have to hold on, so the building inspector wages is up because of a step increase.
Okay,
The assistant building inspector is the same, and the building inspector expense is the same, this level. If wage and personnel votes to do an increase, across the board increase, then those will update with a new figure. And if you guys approve, recommend the increase,
okay,
then we'll fill the new figure in, and if, they
We'll-
don't recommend it, then it goes to town.
okay. So either way, so then we might hold on anything that's a wage just because otherwise we might have to go back and re-vote on recommendations if wage and personnel does recommend.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be on the future.
Okay. But line 63, building inspector expense, that's a level fund request, $4,750.
Seal of Weight Measures called me and said he wanted to level fund also.
Okay,
So his wages would change if it was across the board, but his expense would be at the same 527.
okay. And do we know anything from animal control
Those are in,
in the police?
I don't think they remain the same. Let me take
People are in.
let me take a peek.
We have the police budget.
Police is shifting. Even that one expense line, we need to discuss.
It was increased. So
Animal control. I don't think it was by much, but it was a change.
they level funded the expense though. I don't know why they has an increase.
Oh, here's animal control.
So a lot of the wages you're gonna see, even though they're written in, it's level funded, but it's gone up like a couple $100. There are 2 more days to this fiscal year than there were to the last fiscal.
Mondays through Friday.
Right. So we're working on a 262-day schedule instead of a 260-day schedule. So all your hourly employees are going to go up a little bit,
Okay,
even if there's not a step. And then if there's a step, you'll see it go up more.
okay. So, based on the budget request that we've gotten in email, line 65, sealer weights and measures expense, the requested amount should be, again, level funded, so $527.
Yep.
And on line 67, animal control officer expense, the request is for level funding at $4,616. So under that public safety, other public safety category, we've got 3 expense lines that we could vote on tonight, which are all being level funded.
Which three?
63, 65, and 67. Building inspector expense at 4,750. Sealer voids and measures expense at 527. And animal control officer expense at 4,616.
They're not filled in.
Yeah, they're not filled in on here. We just pulled up the emails, the budgets in the emails.
All right, can I have the numbers?
Yep.
For
So,
63?
line 63 is level funded at 4,750. That one should be filled in on
It
your
is,
sheet.
yeah.
Line 65 is a level fund at $527 even. And line 67 is a level fund at $4,616 even. So I can entertain a motion on the recommendations for lines 63, 65, and 67.
And why not 62?
So we were just discussing anything with wages because right now the wage calculations include a step increase, but it doesn't include if wage and personnel recommends like a 2% raise or whatever percentage raise. So if we did wages tonight, then we'd have to go back and maybe revote them depending on what wage and personnel recommends.
Okay.
I noticed that the voted on 18 is 4616, which is what is requested,
Mhm.
but the expended was only 483. That's quite a big difference.
Yeah, I don't have an itemized one for 2018. I can email them, call them.
Different amounts are needed in different years, depending on if there are dogs
Yeah,
that need,
I'm just looking at this,
Different
the
things.
16 was 26,338, the 17 was
Right.
2405,
Mhm.
so to me, it looks like it's more around 2600.
mhm.
So we voted for 4616, but they didn't even come close to using that,
Well,
so,
we don't know that's for this year,
yeah.
right? So I don't even know what they're at this year. I'd have to look at the
Where they're
budget
trending.
status.
Making public budget status for the next meeting, if you don't want to vote that this year, but that, yeah. All right, one of the things you should know about the animal control too, it's paid out of the dog fund,
Mhm.
which is monies that we get through the dog licensing. I know that the new police chief had brought up the fact that there is, that dog kennel down at the police station is in bad shape and needs to have some work done. He was going to get together with Scott and propose an article for it. So just.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Right.
Since it's level funded, I don't have a
Right.
problem. I was kind of curious because it doesn't look like the amount that's being requested was
Right.
even close to what they've been using, so.
Mhm.
I'll ask.
That's all I can answer.
So we can go line by line if you want. We can look first at line 63, building inspector expense. The request is for $4,750. I'll entertain a motion on line 63.
I'll actually make a motion to approve the level funding of both lines 63 and 65 for the amounts of $4,750 and $527 respectively.
Okay, we have a motion to approve 63, to recommend 63 and 65. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Motion a second. Any further discussion on 63 and 65? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so 63 is recommended. 65 is a recommend. And we're gonna hold on 67 until we get a little bit more information.
Next.
Okay. All right.
Can we start back at the first page?
Yeah.
The reason why we skipped the first page?
There, because if we go by, I mean, we can go by line on this. If, I think what I was trying to do, first of all, is see if we can knock out any full categories at once that were level funded, but we can go line by line and everything is level funded. We've got, probably another 25, 30 minutes.
Like selectmen.
I see what you're doing.
That's level funded.
We can start on page 1 and just start going line by line. I was trying to see if we could like cluster things under the
Yeah,
categories.
so then we regroup, we only have we know what categories we need to hit. All right, that's fine.
Which we're probably still gonna have stuff in every category to do.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, we're saving ourselves 25 minutes at another meeting, but tired us might thank us now. All right, schools, obviously, we don't know yet. Highway still has to be filled out. I'm on page 3. Same thing with Public Works, Cemetery, water. Okay. One, is that you, Public Works, water?
That's me.
Oh, that's you, okay.
Well, I think it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I haven't met with him yet.
okay. Supply insurance, so lines, so far,
Supply insurance, retirement, legal fees, meters, gas and oil are all level funded.
yeah, that's lines 96 through 101, and then 102 vehicle equipment maintenance, and 103 water tower wells maintenance.
Yep.
So,
Are all level.
do 96 to
So we can vote on this tonight, unless you'd prefer to talk to him first.
We can vote on it tonight.
Okay.
Sure, a few of them here, but they didn't spend anywhere near. I guess the first couple. Oh, that one's salary and second one's wages.
Yeah.
Clerical, is clerical salary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the fourth one, supplies stay relatively the same. Expenditures.
So line 96, we have a request for $182,100, a level fund from last fiscal year. For line 97, water insurance, a request for $60,579, again, level funding. For line 98, water retirement, a request of $19,000, level fund. Line 99, water legal fees, a request for $1,500, which is level funded. Line 100, water meters, a request for $25,000, which is level funded. Line 101, water, gas and oil, a request for $13,750, which is level funded. Line 102, water vehicle equipment maintenance, a request for $9,000, level funded. And line 103, water tower wells maintenance, a request for $100,000, which is level funded. So I can entertain a motion on lines 96 through 103.
Cindy, do we know why the tower wells maintenance, do we know what that's trending to right now? It's at 16,191. Are they gonna even come close to that 100 grand?
I don't know.
That would be my concern too, because, I mean, I see that 17 is close, but 18. Yeah, 15%.
I remember the
of what was
conversation
requested.
from last year was that there was so much variability
Right.
that we voted for the
Oh,
100.
this is the sludge.
This is the
the-
sludge.
Yeah,
the sludge ponds?
Yeah, yeah, and there
The
was,
sludge ponds
Okay.
and if there is something that happens with the wells, it's just so hugely
Yeah.
expensive to do anything.
yeah,
So they've asked to keep the 100,000.
yeah, that was the
Okay.
conversation we had last year, was that it could be really low, or if one thing goes wrong, it could be huge.
Got it.
Yeah.
So which one you said 96 through what?
Lines 96 through 103.
I guess the only one is the gas and oil line 101. Doesn't look like it's come close to what they're asking. I don't know if it's
So
what
it
they're
looks
asking.
really low in FY18.
Well,
Gas
even,
and oil.
even in 16 and 17, they only spent 7 and 8 respectively.
Right. In FY18, they never got billed for the second half of the year. So that's why it's really low.
I think like 9, a
Um,
little over 9 maybe.
About 6 is probably.
I think that it's probably that high because gas prices have fluctuated so much in the past, and there were years that it had been high.
If there are any lines that folks want more clarification on and don't want to go on tonight, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
We're not railroading each other into taking votes
Yeah.
tonight. I was just trying to clean up what we could to
I have more questions on 101.
Yeah,
Insurance maybe as well, because that one looks like it's lagging expenditures.
All right, so then let's go line by line then. I can entertain a motion on line 96, water supplies, for $182,100, which is a level fund over fiscal year 19.
That's pretty consistent.
I'll make a motion to approve 182.1 for line 96,
I'll
water
second-
supply.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So we vote to recommend that line. Okay, line 97, it sounds like we want to hold,
yes.
so I'll entertain a motion to hold on line 97.
Can we just ignore it?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because we're not gonna vote on this as a group, that's fine. Line 98, water retirement level fund at $19,000.
Any idea what they base that off of?
Yeah, that's also kind of.
It's just, when they pad stuff, it doesn't look like much on a line, but when you've got 5 or 6 lines that are
So
padded,
their
you're up to 50 grand.
retirement is much higher than that. They give us 53,000 every year towards our retirement line. And then they are charged whatever over that. They don't know until the end of the year from the treasurer's office. They are then told how much they owe. So basically, we put it there to always be able to encompass whatever's left over. Because it has had years where we jumped. So these figures that you're seeing aren't exactly accurate because we used to only take 50 from them in the beginning of the year, and then we went up to 53. So
What they do, we used to at the end of the year just move it all. They put us in a hole in a sense because we were raising appropriate the entire amount of retirement at the beginning of the year. This way, by using the water money at the beginning of the year, it frees up the raising appropriate amount.
right.
So what Sandy does is work with the treasurer's office and the water department to say, okay, what's our previous history for their percentage of the payroll? And what they do is prorate the actual retirement bill on that basis. But we know ahead of time on previous years what we've needed from that. And this line provides that extra cushion, so when it gets to June 30th, and Sandy and Linda have calculated, we'll do the final transfer over. But previous years, we had waited to the end of the year, in essence, create free cash in a sense. But because now we're trying to avoid free cash, but if moving the money over at the beginning of the year gives us more options in terms of budget.
It's less than we have to raise on budget, less than we have, because it comes out of their enterprise account, right?
So you'll see when we get to the insurance line item, there will be sources of funding for the insurance line item.
Yeah, that's retirement.
Retirement item. Most of it's still raised appropriate, and some of it's coming from water department.
But because we don't know until the end of the year what it's going to be, we've kept it a little high. The 19. There was a year that we didn't appropriate enough, and we had to do a one item to get those.
So do we want to make a motion on line 98, water retirement at 19,000, or we can wait to have a conversation about that later if you'd like?
I'll make a motion to approve line 98 for 19,000. Is that right?
Yep. We have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that's line 98 is to recommend.
I'm guessing legal fees just a contingency.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Line 99, water legal fees is a level fund request at $1,500. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve line 99 for $1,500 water legal fees.
We have a
I'll second
motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Line 100, water meters, is a request for $25,000, a level fund over fiscal year 19. I'll entertain a motion on line 100, water meters.
Does that look like that's gonna be enough, Sandy?
That's what I'm worried about.
They didn't ask for more, I think they live within what they get. They do a certain amount of replacing of meters through the years, so I'm not sure exactly how that works. If you want to hold that and talk to them, you're certainly free to. Again, like I said, I think they replace a certain number of meters, or they, you know,
Oh, these are in the households?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion to approve line 100 for water meters in the amount of $25,000.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Recommend line 100. We'll skip over line 101, water, gas, and oil, so that we can discuss it further. Okay. Line 102, water, vehicle, equipment, maintenance. The request is for $9,000, which is a level fund over fiscal year 19. Would anyone like to make a motion on line 102, water, vehicle, equipment, maintenance? Or we can wait to discuss it.
Are there any vehicles that were replaced last year? Or
Not last year. They're looking to replace one in FY20.
FY20? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve line 102 in the amount of $9,000 for water, vehicle, equipment, maintenance.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Line 103, water tower wells maintenance. The request is for $100,000, which is a level fund from FY19 at $100,000. And as we were mentioning before, that was because there is such a wide swing in what the potential is for the cost could be if the sludge fields go or if anything like that happens. So I can entertain a motion for line 103 in the amount of $100,000 for water tower wells maintenance.
I will make a motion to approve line 103 water tower wells maintenance, the amount of $100,000.
I'll second it.
You have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
It looks like that's what they do every year, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something new last year or the year before where the state mandated a change to something to do with their sludge or whatever that fields are called.
Yeah.
I think there was 3 of them and they need to,
They need to.
they're expensive to pump, very
Yeah.
expensive to pump out.
Yeah.
And to find some place to put it,
Yeah.
So that's why you see the jump there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We vote to recommend. And we can get further clarification too when we talk about those other items as well. And just, kind of ensure that what we heard last year is the same information that what we're basing our decision on this year.
So just check my sanity here. We voted on 96, 98, 99, 100, and 103, and 102.
102 and 103, yeah.
Okay, so we skipped the insurance and we skipped gas and oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, under Public Works, solid waste management, only one line, which is 108, is a level fund request. We have a wages one that's down, but we're gonna hold on anything with wages.
They've already expended more than this year than what they're requesting.
yeah. Right, they had a change in staff. They started a new person at step 1.
I mean,
Oh, sorry, we were talking about 108, hazardous
Yeah.
waste collection. We're
No,
gonna,
I'm talking on,
yeah, you're talking about wages.
I'm sorry.
I'm looking at 108.
Yeah, we're gonna hold on all the wages stuff, but that's helpful to know, Sandy. But 108, hazardous waste collection.
That's expended was FY18. That was last year. It's not the year that we're in.
Right, I'm just saying if it was higher last year and we voted in the same amount last year, will it be higher again?
The hazardous waste is not the same every year. The different things that are collected down there are picked up at different intervals. Truthfully, I would trust that she has accounted for what she's going to need. Certainly worth asking if you want to, though.
I think they've reduced the number of actually the collection, this is for the hazardous waste.
Right. Because
Yeah.
in 18, she said 14, but yeah, she says, so she's only.
Yeah, in fact, yeah.
We can, I mean, we're gonna have, you know, questions on other items under solid waste management anyway, so if you want, we can just skip the category.
That one.
Gonna get more comfortable?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
If it's lower than the prior year, I usually, unless it's egregious, I don't get worried about it, but I'm fine with it.
Because everything else in that section we'd have to ask, or, you know, by this kind of decision rule, we'd ask about anyway. Okay, so the next section is health and human services. So we have, in terms of everything that's level funded, line 111, health expense is a request for $7,873.
What is this? What is? What department is it?
Board of Health.
Board of Health.
Yep. So line, we're at 111 expense.
Who has that department?
I believe it's Fred. So it's telephone fees, something for rabies, consultants, postage, advertising, supplies, maintenance, mileage, dues, meetings, and equipment. Looks like the major movement is in fees,
I expect mileage.
a little bit over in mileage,
More.
and equipment.
Yeah, and been doing the barn inspection, so the mileage is gonna increase as they get caught up in that.
So this is the itemized here for line 111 if anyone wants that.
Which is where 112 is. Oh, 112 is much higher.
I'm fine with it.
Alright, so line 111, health expense, the request is for $7,873. Which is what they requested for FY19.
That's their details right here?
The FY18 voted doesn't have the detail, just has the total.
Yeah,
So you
I can
kinda
pull
have
up
to
the,
guess. If there was a big jump between 16, 17, 17, 18, it's kind of tough to, because even though it's level funded, maybe they haven't expensed that much, and I just don't know what the increase was for. There was one or two for fire that was like that.
There was an increase for the, they pay a consultant to do some of the restaurant inspections. The ones that.
That's
some of
for the expense piece or the inspection line
It threw out of the, no, that's out of the expense.
expense?
Right. The inspection line is just the health inspector.
Okay.
But, so we have, because of all the different responsibilities that fall under Board of Health, she's not able to get to the mandatory 2 restaurant inspections per year. So she does have an outside person who she uses to do some of the inspections. And that was put into the expense line a few years back.
Make a motion to approve line 111, health expense in the amount of $7,873.
Second the motion.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. The next level funded line is line 113, health nursing service. The request is for $7,000. Level fund over fiscal year 19.
I think it's pretty consistent.
Yep. Make a motion to approve line 113, health nursing services for $7,000.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? It's line 113. Okay. The next one is line 115, inspector of animals. Nope, sorry. The next line is 114, landfill engineering and monitoring, It's a level fund request at $15,233.
That's part of the 3-year contract. to this company.
So why was 2018 6,500?
Yeah, I don't know. I had them check when I had money left over in that account, and the company said, yeah, we're fine. So they didn't fill
That's when
us the
you-
full amount of the contract.
That's when you
We're
hang
not
up the phone.
So we got away with something?
Got away.
Is it annual? They're not gonna whack us at the end of the contract, are they?
I don't believe so. No, the way the contract is written, that's an annual
Annual.
figure. So,
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion to approve 114 landfill engineering and monitoring for $15,233.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next one is line 115, Inspector of Animals. Is that a
that is a wage.
wage line? Okay, so let's skip over that. Let's skip over 115.
117.
117, Council on Aging expense in the amount of $8,880, which is the level request over fiscal year 19.
They had some line item shifts, but they all look pretty justified. There was nothing major, and it was the same as prior. It's pretty consistent.
Based on what Lenny said, I'll make a motion to approve line 117 council on aging expense for the amount of $8,880.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sitting in that, but it's pretty cool.
I'll also make a motion to approve 118 Pope's Tavern electricity for the amount of $3,000.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that takes us through,
120.
yeah. Sandy, do we have to fill in lines 123 and 124?
What are those?
It's 123 is housing authority and 124 is ADA expense.
Yeah, no one really.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Just put in the
It's a dollar.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve $1 for lines 123 and 124.
It's that bill.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the request of $1 for line 123 housing authority and line 124 ADA expense for $1 each. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Recommend each
I
of
don't know
those.
if you want a 120. He
Just
just increased it $50 because he went over the prior year by $17, so I think he's just adding in some buffer for postage and whatnot.
Okay. If everyone's comfortable, we can vote on. I'm happy to take a vote. So that's line 120 veteran agent expense. It's an increase of $50 to be 1,350 over 1,300. If we want to hold to the decision rules only doing the level funds or decreases tonight, then we would pass over it. If we're comfortable with voting on a $50 increase, we can take a vote on it tonight.
Let's just do the level and then reductions for now.
Okay. All right, so the next category is culture and recreation, which has only one expense line
121.
in it. So why don't we kind of pause there at the bottom of Health and Human Services so that we can go to the school committee items, but at least we managed to get through some stuff. Which is good. And everyone in their packet, thanks to Kathy, has the copies of the Halifax Elementary School budget sheets. We're gonna wait on the Silver Lake ones until later so we can kind of pull on those. But we do have the Halifax Elementary School ones with us today. So Summer, if you want a couple minutes to get settled, that's totally fine. We can go back into the budget sheet and look at other stuff, or we can dive into the,
No, I mean, I pretty much thought since this was like our first discussion,
Yeah.
I would just get a feel for you know, what the climate in town is and what you guys are kind of looking for from your departments and, if you have any questions, and I basically just want to get a feel from you guys, and then obviously we're gonna dive deeper into it at our next meeting. I'm sure we'll talk again, so.
Yeah. So it sounds like, I think what might help to kind of situate is that I have my notes from the budget meeting, which was last week or the week before, 2 weeks ago. So it might help if between you and I, we can sort of fill the rest of the board in on sort of the big picture view on what are some sort of the big asks that might be happening for this year from the elementary school committee as it stands right now. And I can pull up my notes from the meeting too.
The only thing I can't find are the 2 warrant articles that Joy, were you there for that? Did she give you a copy of those? Charlie, you probably know, she emailed them to you. One is switches,
Yes.
I didn't get a copy
the
of
other
this.
one is, it's slipping my mind and I
It
can't.
was for the middle school.
Oh, the officer, right, so that really doesn't have anything to do
Which
with.
really should be
our
an
budget.
article, but that's okay. Oh, yeah, it should not be, but that's okay, that's not for discussion.
Okay,
Yeah, that is not a capital expense, not a one-time expense, it should not.
no, it's not, you're right.
Yeah, it's an operational, so we can talk about that another time, but that is definitely.
Okay, and really doesn't have anything to do with elementary school either?
No.
She just kind of, I think, brought it to us.
I don't
so
know
we
what
were-
she's doing,
I don't know.
but it is not a good idea, but.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts on that also, but, so the only article really that pertains to our budget is the internet switches.
Okay.
So they're like extremely outdated and need to be replaced. And we talked about using some REAP grant money that we're still qualified for, which is great, but it is a grant. So, and we had a discussion about moving forward, being cognizant of the fact that that grant could disappear because it's one for rural schools, and they usually around when you hit about 600 students, they take it away from you. So talked about like the life of Chromebooks and things like that, because we're starting to turn them over, the older ones. But other than that, we have a copy of our budget, so
There's a
there's
copy of the
no
finance
personnel
report.
changes. The big ticket item is the math curriculum that we had a conversation about last year, not splitting it into 2 years, and it's all gonna go in this year's budget, and that makes up 1% of our budget.
And isn't it, just to make sure I get this, so last year we decided to skip renovating the math textbooks. If we did it on a year-by-year basis, it would actually be, the thing I heard was it'd be actually more expensive than if we bought out this kind of multi-year curriculum now. Is that correct?
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, it's like, like $65,000 or $70,000 to buy like a 6-year subscription, but it ends up being like $16,000 a year if you do it by year. So
Yeah.
it makes more sense to do long-term. And they do have, like workbooks that'll be replaced every year, and that's part of the budget that we.
So that's one of the major increases, like you said. Another
Yeah.
one is sped transportation costs. And those are going up because the bus company that we were using got bought out, right?
Yeah, so I guess, I don't know exactly if it got bought out or we're changing companies or something happened where it's a different, but we've talked about, the transportation issue, and we've also had a busing problem across the street, so we're talking about adding a new bus, but, which would belong to Halifax's budget because we can't share that bus with Silver Lake, so.
Okay. So,
Because they don't need it, so we have to take ownership of it.
and that budget, that request for the sort of a Halifax only bus is
Yeah.
not included in your budget
It is
proposal. It's a
not.
sort of the wish list item at the bottom.
I believe, yes.
Okay.
That's how she put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they think that if they add that bus that we will have less people?
That's the idea. That's like the hope, is a lot of people, a lot of parents, when you talk to them, is their kids are on the bus for an hour, you know, there's a lot of behavioral issues. So we're hoping to kind of, and it's almost a nightmare.
Yeah, I know that if it helps, that helps.
Yeah, so that's the hope. I mean, there's no guarantee in that.
I know.
But we're kind of like teetering at that line right now anyway, with the bus being pretty full. And I'm sure you know that like we upgraded a couple of the buses this year, like as a gift from the bus company kind of, which was great. And we also talked a little bit about, because I think buses go under the shared cost, right? Or reunion or something, it's like, oh, okay. So we had a conversation, about when we go out to bid, about having longer term contracts instead of like year by year, like making it even sometimes more 10 years, which can be more affordable. So we gave kind of Christine permission when she shops around to keep that in mind. That makes a little difference.
And I'm just going off my notes, so if there's stuff that I'm missing out or if I'm not representing the conversation correctly, please jump in over me. I'm just trying to kind of pull out what some of the big things were that I remember hearing.
We didn't really comb through our budget so much. We sort
Yeah.
of, we got it.
Mhm.
Anything that jumped out at us, you know, we sort of left it as, let's just briefly scan through it. We
Okay.
don't have any shared cost numbers yet,
Yeah.
so it's kind of pointless to start moving things around if we don't know
Yeah.
where we're gonna be moving things from or to.
In terms of like the wish list items, because I know that the bus is on the sort of a wish list item, the bathroom upgrades are a wish list item.
Yeah, they're there every year. Matt tries to slide something in there.
Do you get the sense that the technology upgrades would be prioritized higher than either of those things, just based on the proposal, or?
I would assume so. I mean, that's kind of like the push, and I think a lot of the tech budget is like upgrades in software and hardware. I'm not a tech person, so I don't understand all the language behind it. Gordon and Alex seem to be more tech savvy, so they've already like emailed some questions over to Steve Pello, the tech guy, to sort of try to figure out like what's priority. And I asked him in the meeting, like, is this what you need or is this what you want? And it sounds pretty much like it's a need situation just to keep things operating over there.
Okay.
And capacity, you know, like expanding the broadband and the switches and new programs and assessment tools that are all moving to online technology now. So, I mean, those are all costing money. A lot of the curriculum is moving to online, so that costs a lot more money.
I think one of the things, and this is just my opinion, so if anyone else wants to tag in, as every department moves forward in their conversations, the ones that are posing wish list items, it might be helpful to sort of prioritize the wish list for us. And also within that to maybe provide kind of, the gold wish versus the silver wish versus the bronze, right? So if you were able to get a portion of an item that was really, really important, would there be ways to break it out, which if maybe we can't, for whatever reason, fund a full proposal, are there items that we could potentially fund this year if we were to have the money that would move things forward, if not providing the sort of full ask? And that's not just for schools, that's for everybody that's kind of proposing these items that they'd like to see in the budget if we do have the ability to fund those items. That's why I was asking if the technology you think would come before the bathrooms, et cetera, and that's totally a conversation for all of you to have. And like you said, you haven't had time to really comb through line by line. But that would be the recommendation I'd give to any of the committees or any of the departments. I don't know if anyone else has any sort of big picture questions or things that they would want to send back to the elementary school committee in terms of.
Well, the only thing that I saw when I was going through it was that right there, the big jump in the textbook program, from 11,500 to 85,000.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that really concerned me.
Okay. And I have the.
Yeah, so that's the math.
Yeah.
It's a 6-year program, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 6 years, yeah. So, Matt, you weren't on the finance committee last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so last year we had a conversation with the town and the finance committee because things were kind of financially uneasy about splitting the cost, like doing 40 and 40. And they suggested that we don't do that when we bump it out and have the whole bulk of the textbook happen this year. So that's why. And so it's $73,000 of that is the math program, which is a big chunk of change. Like I said, it actually makes up 1% of our increase in our budget.
My biggest concerns, I think, educational-wise, is that, and they talked about this at the Civil Lake School Committee, is, this whole big push with getting more money to the schools. But the last time that happened, that required massive changes to the curriculum. So I don't want to get into spending a lot of money and all of a sudden if they like saying, okay, we're going to change the Chapter 70 formula and you're going to get more money, but to do that, you've got to do all of this stuff and then money that we spent for curriculum changes are now out the window because they don't want to do that anymore.
Well, I'm with you. I fought back pretty hard when they tried to, or when they did infiltrate Common Core into the
Right,
curriculum.
yeah.
I was like leading the charge on trying to make sure that didn't happen here in
Right.
Halifax, but it's a little bit out of our control
Right,
because
and
if
that-
you want the money from the state, you
Right,
have to
and
look at the state
that's what
aid.
they were saying at the Civil Lake School Committee, it's almost like, do you want the extra money? Because we know that's gonna come with strings.
Yeah.
And that's gonna cost us changes to the curriculum and all this other stuff. So it's like, be careful what you ask for is what they were saying.
A question I have on that is that, I mean, since we're gonna be, especially between HES and Silver Lake, we're gonna be obviously, I think, mindful of the governor's budget, but for you all especially, right, with the state aid, would we have enough time between getting, for example, the governor's budget and getting a sense of whether or not there'd be anything tied, any conditions tied to a raise in Chapter 70 to make decisions about whether or not we want to move forward with changes to our own curriculum? Or is that something that would be like a next year discussion, we'd sort of get locked into either we have to choose our own curriculum now or forego it?
So the curriculum is based on the frameworks, right? So the frameworks are already set by the DOE. That's not going to change. So these programs, this curriculum that they're picking, I think they're down to 2 now. They've piloted like several of them in the school, and they've picked the. So this $73,000 is not the exact number. That's, I think, the highest of the piloted curriculum.
Yeah.
Whatever that I can't imagine, because they just did a massive overhaul of the frameworks, that another one's coming in the next 2 to 3 years. I'm sure it's going to be a little while before they do it again, which they will. But they haven't even. They're just starting to overdo the science ones right now, so I can't imagine that they would go ahead and. Because I was apprehensive too. Why buy a 6-year curriculum and then find out that it's not going to? But it'll all fall within the frameworks. We'll be fine in that regard.
Okay.
At least that's my. Right?
Yeah,
Don't you
that's
think?
usually the way it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they wouldn't come at you and be like, no, you have to change this next year.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
my question, is that would we have to make a really quick decision, I guess, in the middle of the budget cycle? as to
No,
what-
I don't
okay.
think so. I think we're good. I think we'd even be fine if we stayed with the old stuff. But I mean, in terms of it falling within the frameworks and being at risk for like losing our funding, it's just so outdated.
Yeah. Some of the items that we don't, so what you see for the VOTEC estimate, we're level funding from last year, but we won't know until April how many students are that we'll actually have to pay for. So besides sort of the sped tuition and things like that, actually the sped tuition isn't projected to go up that much. It's really the transportation under sped. Yeah, sorry.
So when Christine sent me the budget
Yeah.
sheets that we send them, and they
Yeah.
sent back, she actually increased the vocational education by 30,000.
Okay, which would be wrong.
Which was one student.
Yeah.
And that was she said that at the finance committee meeting that she was here, that finance had said they would be more comfortable if it was, one extra student was put in.
Okay.
So, the number, she put an extra 30,000 on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's
come town meeting
207.
time, or even April, we'll know for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's variation still in
So,
that.
Yeah.
one.
no. She also said we have 3 seniors who are graduating, but we already have 2 students taking those 3 places. So
Yeah.
we may not be seeing much of a change.
Okay. And the only other note I have was that we have 1 confirmed retirement so far, and those cost savings have been built into the budget. Anything else that hasn't been confirmed, we're not counting on, or that you all aren't counting on until it's actually confirmed.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Joy had mentioned that also there's a potential
Mhm.
for another, but it's not, we don't have
Yeah.
any concrete, we don't have a letter, so
Yeah.
we're not gonna.
That's fair.
But we're not hiring any new staff or anything like that.
Okay. So I think so far that recommendation for me in terms of sort of prioritizing the big wish list or anything that's really got movement on that isn't tied to state aid, I think would be helpful, at least personally from my perspective. But if anyone else has anything else that they'd want to communicate to the elementary school committee or anything for them to be thinking about as they really get into the line by line on their item. We wanted to make sure that we're going to each other's meetings and that we're having a nice ongoing discussion so that none of us get surprised, which I think is really helpful.
Yeah, I expected to start the transportation because that's what they were, when you see the civil lake budget, it's double.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
In that section, it went from 77 to like 158,000.
But I'll have you know though, like, I think that our board is pretty fiscally mindful and conservative right now. So I think that we're all of the same mindset in terms of like, what do you really need and what do you kind of want? And that goes for supplies, even staffing. I mean, we're always questioning all the technology. Like I said, that conversation's already been started about like, are you sure this is really how much it's gonna cost? And, you know, let's be mindful of the grant situation, and that might dry up, and
Okay.
so.
Yeah, 608, right? Nah.
Yeah, but I guess they have this, they do it like an average daily attendance, so we're actually just below, so we're good for right now.
So, does that look like we will be getting the REAP grant?
Yes, for this
eventually?
year, yes.
So, would the switches go into the REAP grant, or is they gonna?
I forget if she told me that if it cost, she mentioned something about something, we're trying to use the REAP grant money for X, and I wanna say it was the switch, for something, but I can't remember if she said it could qualify for the switches or not. I think it has to be,
I know it was technology.
I have in my notes it could go to, like, part of it could.
but not all of it? Okay, I knew there was something about that.
Yeah.
Because in the past we've used it by Chromebooks.
Well, not always, like sometimes that 14,000 has been different, so.
It's been used to do other
Yeah.
things than just by programs. I think
For that smart board.
Yes, yeah.
So,
I think it's whatever the need is at the time in the
Right.
school, and I know that we talked, I don't think that this is a surprise for us, because I think in capital planning, we talked about it last year, it's CL and payment, so,
He's pretty good at
yeah, he's awesome.
really laying it out.
Yeah.
So the only other really big item going on over there is the fire suppression. But,
Right, and
and that's already, should have been done last year.
Yeah, and the bids are out.
But that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Nobody did.
Yeah. And I think the only other thing kind of to fill in from our side is that when we had our sort of department head kind of gathering meeting where we talked about the general status of the budget, we as a committee did decide that we're comfortable with the idea of leaving a cushion. I don't think we agreed on a number. I think we more agreed on the philosophy of the cushion.
You talking about like taxing the levy kind of?
Yeah, that we didn't feel comfortable going all the way up just because, not only with whatever we didn't know in the parts of the budget that hadn't been filled in yet, but just also philosophically to make sure that we're not, be cognizant that we have people on fixed incomes and that we don't want to, you know, press our residents for, or any of us, for taxes. But we didn't agree on a number. I think we've traditionally kind of hewed to that $300,000, but none of us wanted to put that, I think, in concrete just yet. But the idea of not taxing levy was something that we were comfortable with. So that's the only other thing kind of on our side that we were trying to communicate to all the committees and departments. And like I said, that,
So that being said, I am aware that between our budget and the Silver Lake budget, it eats up the majority, I believe, of,
without anything else.
without anything else.
Yeah,
So we did have that conversation towards the end of our discussion.
yeah.
And I think, I'm pretty sure that this, I mean, like I said, we don't have any shared cost numbers or anything yet,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm sure it'll move, this number will move a little bit before we're.
Yeah, we just got the Silver Lake budget in.
3.46.
Yeah, we just got our copies like the last couple of days, so we haven't really gotten to come to this either, and Gordon's gonna have to come. I know he couldn't come tonight, but he's gonna come to another meeting, I think, after the governor's budget's set. But yeah, the two biggest items really eat up whatever we would have wanted to leave on the table. So that's why we're trying to, what we've been doing until you got here, is going through all the level funding requests. And not that we won't have to go back and revisit those, but just to see sort of where we are with everything that's been level funded and then look at everything that's got movement on it. We might have to go back and revisit all the level funding requests, but we're at least trying to get a sense of where we are just based on what we've got in already. And we're not totally done with that, but that's what we're doing when you came in. Just so folks have an idea. We're trying to see kind of where we are.
So our next meeting is in this file, it's probably the first Monday of February.
Okay.
And we're gonna have our public budget discussion.
Okay. Yeah.
It is. So the public budget hearing's at 6 o'clock on the 4th. And then we'll go into our meeting, so nobody ever comes to the public budget hearing.
No, we have capital planning also.
I can go before we have FinCom at 7, so I can go to the
Okay.
public budget hearing at 6.
So, and then we can move the agenda around, that's not a problem. So
Okay.
you can,
Oh,
actually,
thank
maybe
you.
I'll just do that when we make the agenda, I'll put the budget
Oh, thank
further
you.
up on it.
Okay.
So you can get back over here.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it.
And then, you know, we'll obviously, when you guys are gonna, when we have more numbers for you, and then you're gonna discuss our budgeting, and
Yeah.
shoot me an email. and
Definitely.
we'll come down and chat, and get you some shared cost numbers and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Where is the budget discussion? The public budget
Across the
discussion?
street, in the library, at the, not the public library, the elementary school library. At 6.
Excellent. So at least one of us will be there. I'll definitely be there, and if anyone else wants to join, more than welcome.
Yeah, I'll probably be there.
Okay.
And if anything pops up, you know, between now and then, I'll let you know.
Yeah, awesome. Same here. Thank you very much for coming in.
Sure, that's not a problem, it was just that basketball, so I just scooped it over real quick.
Oh, nice.
I like live in those gyms, between the U here and Silver Lake, I'm like, might as well just throw a sleeping bag in my car. I don't like that. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Summer. We appreciate it. So if you want, we can go back in and go back to the level funded lines, of which there are not many. Or we can spend the rest of the time thinking about who to schedule, who to come in for at least the first couple meetings of February, which may be, it seems like we're gonna basically be calling in everyone anyway, so.
We don't have that many left, do we?
Can we leave off?
I think we left after that.
We left at culture and recreation. So we've got line 128, youth and rec, which wages, so we'll skip over that.
That's good.
Line 129, youth and rec expense is a level fund request at $13,216.
I'll make a motion to approve line 129, youth and rec expense for the amount of $13,216.
Second that motion?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Line 130 is gonna be a wage, so we said we'd skip those. So now we're on to the next page.
Decrease.
133, that's just a pass-through, right, Sandy? For cable television?
Did I ask you, Charlie, why that came down so much? Did you get
Yeah,
it?
the receipts are there.
Got it?
Yeah. So basically, this is a pass-through. So
Yeah.
the money from Comcast, we pass it through, and this is based on what we've done in the last couple of quarters. As you might, as with a lot of other things, Halifax is no different. You see a lot more people cutting the cable cord. They might not be cutting the internet cord, they're doing streaming. Or they're getting, they're watching whatever they want to watch on their cell phones.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is a decline in revenue that Comcast is receiving, which means 5% surcharge on it goes down. So, we don't account for this. Since it's a pass-through, it's a wash, or we set it up in the budget to be a wash.
Yeah.
And I don't want a situation where we overestimate the revenue. It doesn't mean we'll spend more money than we get in. Because no matter what is appropriated, Area 58 only gets the money that we actually see coming in.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a good idea when we're setting out the recap sheet, to say that we're going to receive $250,000.
Yeah.
We end up with $225.
Yeah.
I mean, in setting up a free cash the following year, it balances off. I just like to be a little bit more accurate.
So then are you comfortable with 194, 150 as the FY20 request when FY19 was 225?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, and I'll run the numbers again, but, I see the actual backup to the check.
Yeah, okay.
So I know, looking at the actual quarters and how much money Comcast is getting in revenues from cable,
Okay.
that amount has gone down. And we were looking at it and saying, when I talked to Cindy about this probably late last year, was this a one-time glitch? Was it one quarter that for some reason we saw a lower revenue picture? But it stayed, once it's gone down, it stayed down.
Okay.
I mean, it's not drifting down farther, but it went from this plateau down to that plateau.
Okay. So line 133, cable television, again, that's a pass-through. The request for FY20 is 194, 150.
I didn't know we were doing decreases, but I'll make a motion to approve line 133, cable television for the amount of 194, 150.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Go with decreases, right? Level and decreases.
Yeah, sorry, I thought we were doing levels and decreases.
Levels in, that's what I thought.
There just weren't many decreases.
Yeah, I think this might be the first decrease we get.
Yeah.
That was.
That wasn't a wage line.
Yeah.
So a lot of the decreases are wage lines because people after they cut hours or something like that.
Yep.
All right, line 134, patriotic celebrations is a level fund requested at $400.
How come we've never spent anything?
I think it's because we've been getting donations,
Oh, okay.
but I think that's sort of the buffer.
Yep, makes sense.
I'll make a motion to approve lines 134, 35, and 36, 137 and 138, nope, just 137, wait a
Okay,
minute,
so-
and 138.
Line 134, patriotic celebrations is a level fund at $400. Line 135, historical commission is $2,499. Line 136, historical district commission is a level fund request at $446. Line 137, holidays in Halifax is a level fund request at $3,395. And line 138, Halifax fireworks committee is a level fund request at $3,200. So we're looking for a motion on lines 134, 135, 136, 137, and 138.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Line 139, beautification expense. Is that just not in yet, Sandy, or are they not?
It's just not in yet.
Okay, so we'll skip.
I'm sure it'll be the same.
And the agricultural commission one's no longer.
Actually, they asked for nothing last year, so I am going to try to reach out to her and make sure they want to do the same this year.
Okay. Website committee, we just don't have in yet.
No, the website committee, we don't have a
Well,
website.
the one, there's no one, really needs to simply change the website. There's no committee.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have the money.
Committee of one.
No, we don't even know.
Okay. So then that's it for general government? Or sorry, that's it for culture and rec. The debt service lines. Line 147, debt WPAT, and line 148, debt WPAT2.
What are those, Sandy, again? WPA?
WPAT was a grant, a loan that we got from the state that we could loan out money to residents to repair their septic systems. And they paid them back over a 20-year period.
Right, so we get, we, in essence, we do an assessment with those homeowners. So money's coming back in.
So we've been paying it off. We have to pay the state back. We've been getting paid back by the people who borrowed money from us, and we've been paying the state.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve lines 147 and 148 in the amounts of $10,400 and $10,000 respectively.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. I'll also make a motion to approve line 149 debt landfill capping for a reduced amount of $102,937.50.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
That's weird. Why is,
So the roof repair number, that's a definite number, we have the bond schedule in on that debt.
why is that not showing a percentage? It's showing a div by zero.
I don't know,
It's
I'll check the formula,
So that's a real number?
that's a real number.
I'll make a motion to approve the reduction to line 149A, debt on Halifax Elementary School roof and repairs for the amount of $412,650.
I'll second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
The
Unanimous.
fire suppression system is also a real number.
That's an increase. So, yeah,
So we should,
but that's a debt, right?
It's a debt, it's a bond we have to pay.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to approve the increase of line 149B from 0 to $21,750.
I'll second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion?
What, is that started? Or was that scheduled?
Fire suppression, no, the RP, the dispatch will be available this Wednesday. 2 weeks after that will be subject deadline, a week after that will be the GC bids deadline.
Any concern about not getting a bid like last time? Is that the one where we didn't get a bid?
Correct. I am less concerned, let's put it that way. Once you have that happen once, you do worry about it.
What happens if that occurs?
Well, we'll have enough time to rebid.
Okay. Okay.
The, line 150, there's nothing filled in on that yet. Because of the fire suppression system, we will have to bid, and until we know how much we're bidding for the difference, we don't know what the temporary interest will be, so
Yeah.
we wanted to leave that
Okay.
blank for a while.
Okay.
Why was, just out of curiosity, why was FY18 7 times higher? Almost 8 times higher than,
Because of a bid
what is that?
that we had to pay.
About an acquisition note?
A bid is
Bond anticipatory.
Anticipation
right,
note?
a bond
Yeah, okay.
anticipation note. So we pay that under the temporary interest.
Takes care of that category.
Yep. The last category is fixed costs.
So on 149A, did we approve that or not approve that?
We did. We took a vote to recommend that one. We have,
I remember he seconded it and then he had the question, so I don't remember the vote afterwards.
I remember raising my hand, but we can vote on it
No,
again.
that's fine, no, that's fine.
Kathy, do you have a vote on that for
I
line?
do have that,
Okay, that's
Bill
fine.
motion, Len seconded, and all in favor.
Okay.
Okay. But I know as soon as Glenn asked, he asked the question, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was checking it off on my sheet.
No, that's good. And it's good that we're all taking notes. That's
Yeah.
super helpful.
Any of my questions?
Then, fixed costs. Charlie, are we okay to take votes on 154 insurance and then on the
156 and 58.
156 telephone, and 158 heating oil?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
The heating oil now is over with the building committee, so I don't
Okay.
know whether Scott has put in a budget submission for that.
Okay.
For the insurance,
Yes.
okay, so And if Scott's put it in, then I have to rely on him.
Okay.
For the insurance, I know I've not gotten anything from Maya yet.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, they're having a meeting coming up, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other ones?
Telephone.
Telephone.
Telephone right now is with the police department.
Okay.
And I know that Caesar's working with the chief about, we haven't submitted to the capital plan committee, but we're looking at a new phone system for town hall.
Okay.
But it should also, I'm hoping is, at least, my hope is bring down monthly phone bills.
Okay.
Um,
So then let's hold on fixed costs, that entire section.
Yep.
Let's go back to page 1, which is the only one that we didn't.
Line 5.
Excellent, okay. Line 5, selectmen expense is a level fund request at $3,925.
I'll make a motion to approve line 5, selectmen expense for $3,925.
I'll second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We could technically vote the moderator and selectmen salaries because they don't vary with, I mean, I don't think wages gonna,
Yeah, we don't up them with the way, with
Yeah.
the overall, yeah.
yeah. So line 1, moderator salary is a level fund request at $200.
I'll make a motion to approve lines 1 and 2. 1 is moderator salary for $200, line 2 is selectman salary for $4,500.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, thank you.
Line 7's a decrease,
Line 7.
line 9's a decrease.
Okay, line 7's a decrease. Okay, good. So line 7, the amount of $17,700, which is a decrease for town hall electricity.
Why do we think that's gonna go down?
Because I've looked at our actual usage and also the rates that we've been paying.
Because of the aggregate, right? Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve line 7, town hall electricity in the amount of $17,700.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Can we dim the lights?
You're gonna set the
Just
thermostat
to
on?
make sure we make it.
We're gonna be at 58. Alright,
I'll also make a motion to approve line 9 audit for the amount of $25,500.
What happened this year, or last year rather?
I think we had extra in there in case we needed a single audit for federal funds. But we didn't need it. We went out to,
It says
we got a new
That's it.
audit firm, and the quote, the bids came in, the quote came in at 25.5 for FY20.
We have 51.5 for expended in 18. I was just curious why the jump in 18.
We didn't have that.
No?
That has to be in there.
Okay.
I don't know where I picked it up from, honey, but
Okay, so are we comfortable with the 25.5? Sandy, you're comfortable with 25.5?
I'll entertain a motion on $25,500 requested for a line 9 audit.
That motion's already been made.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Second motion.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We actually, at the last meeting, voted to request $359 for FinCom expenses.
That's right.
We voted to request a level funded budget for that, so we can fill in for line 11, FinCom expense, $359. Is there a motion for line 11?
We already did that though, didn't we?
Do we have to double
We
vote
made,
it?
we made the request, but now we have to vote on whether or not to.
I'll make a motion to approve line 11, FinCom expense in the amount of $359.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Accountant expense, yep, thank you. Line 14, accountant expense, $1,625.
I'll move to approve line 14 accountant expense, the amount of $16.25.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Line 16, assessor salary is similar to selectman salary. Same thing.
So line 16, assessor salary, $4,500. It's not falling under all the other wage lines that we're skipping now.
I'll make a motion to approve line 16 assessor's salary for $4,500.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion, sir? 19, assessor's expense is down.
Yeah, I'm double checking that, because it looks like it might be.
The typo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
This,
yeah, it looks like it is.
because she said it was level funded.
Yeah, so yeah, it looks like we just transposed, but we can pass over that for now.
Should it be level funded?
anyway.
That's what I was under the
I said it
impression,
was
yes.
just
but I-
confirmation, we'll just vote it.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
Yeah, they have that amount. I'm gonna double check on that.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can double check because if someone's got the wrong number somewhere, Line 20 then, office machines expense is a reduction to $7,000.
It's based on the fact that our maintenance costs are down due to new machines.
I'll make a motion to approve line 20 office machines expense in the amount of $7,000.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna, we can skip down to line,
Recruitment and employee costs, 34.
33, 34, and 33 to 38.
33, yeah, 30, well, let's skip down to 33. Line 33, recruitment and employment costs is a level fund request at $7,500.
Actually, I'll make a motion to approve lines 33, 34, 35, and 36. Recruitment and employment costs, the amount of
The Conservation Commission
7,500.
expense,
Conservation Commission expense in the amount of $1,100. Planning Board expense in the amount of $2,000. And Zoning Board of Appeals expense in the amount of $825. All are level funded requests.
okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Double checking the math, and it says it's expense, it does come out to the number that's written down there.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve line 19 assessor's expense for the amount of $13,165, which is a reduction of $450.
Second that motion?
any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, the next.
Building committee expense, I think, right, 39?
Yep,
Yep.
$450 for line 39.
I'll make a motion to approve line 39 building committee expense for the amount of $450.
I'll second.
Motion a second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so we've done what we can.
Town building snow and ice expense, did we do that? Line 43.
No, we can do that. Line 43, town building, snow and ice, $3,000 request.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second that motion?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Of course, if we get a massive snowstorm this weekend.
And just as a reminder too, for anyone who's watching at home, is that we're taking votes on the level funds and the decreases so that we can get the big picture of where we are right now. Doesn't mean that we won't have to go back and re-vote those lines later on, but at least we'll get a sense of, based on the request, that the recommendation we made for a level service budget, we'll sort of see where things stand moving forward with the items that have more movement in them. So the only other thing we need to do is figure out if we want to come in on February 4th. Does anyone have, I'm looking back at, I think probably police.
Yeah, police and
Chief
fire.
Shoves.
Fire wasn't bad at all. There's some requests for some increased equipment, some maintenance, but other than that, police is probably a little minkier.
So maybe we could have the fire chief come at 7:15 and then maybe have the police chief come at 7:30 and leave a little bit more time for police. What do you think, Len?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kathy, would you mind reaching out to Chief Viveros for a 7:15 appointment for February 4th? And then we'll see if we can put Chief Shaw's at 7:30 and maybe give Chief Shaw's half an hour. Then if we're all comfortable, we could put someone at 8 o'clock. I don't think we'll be ready for Silver Lake, although we could invite Gordy. That's going to be a much bigger discussion.
Yeah, I think we probably want to wait.
Yeah. So maybe we could get, Sandy, do you get the sense that Steve might be ready to talk to us on the 4th?
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
sorry.
No.
Yeah,
We could do water.
Yeah, so it's like,
I say, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll schedule water for 8 PM. And then I think that's plenty for that night.
Why do you think Steve won't be ready?
Well, I think after he has this conversation with you, he may be, but it might take a little, longer.
Yeah.
I need to
I
get in
mean, you
touch.
can try to, but I also think something like highway, he may be looking at more staffing because we
Mhm.
They'll need more time for that.
So I think if you try to shove it in on the 4th where you have the 2 chiefs coming in, it might be too much. So
Yeah.
I think you're better off just doing 2 chiefs and maybe,
Water.
Let's do highway and water on the 11th, maybe.
yeah.
You want to do highway and water together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Highway, water, and
So-
solid
'cause then-
waste.
Right, and then maybe with your, if you finish with the chief around 8, then you can concentrate going back to what you're doing, which I love that you're doing what you're doing tonight, like voting the line item. It really makes sense.
Maybe then we could try to get health in at 8 PM, Kathy, if you don't
Sure.
mind? Because
Yeah.
that was another kind of like shorter one that we could maybe knock out.
So it'll be, what did I just say? Highway, water, and solid waste
Solid waste.
for,
Could we put Kathy, put health
the
in,
11th, for the 11th.
7:15, and then put the 2 chiefs in?
Yeah.
Just so that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The chiefs go
Oh,
along.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so Kathy joining at 7:15, Chief Viveros in at 7:30, and Chief Shav's in at 7:45.
Yep.
Okay.
And what do you think about Gordon on the 18th,
I think
18th
that's,
is off.
yeah,
25th?
that would be good, because you've already passed the.
Yeah, we'll have the governor's numbers by then
Yeah,
for
we'll
sure.
have- Definitely.
And I think for the 18th, Kathy, for Gordon Andrews, 7:15.
25th.
25th, sorry, thank you. But then when do we want to put highway and water?
The 11th, highway, water, and solid waste.
Okay, you're right, the 4th is, okay, thank you. Okay, so then the 25th might just be all Silver Lake.
Yeah,
And maybe what we can do that night is, because Gordon's on Silver Lake and Halifax Elementary, invite Gordon and Summer both to that, with the understanding that we'll talk about Silver Lake first, but Halifax Elementary might have really refined its numbers by then too, especially since they know what's going on with Silver Lake. Sorry, Kathy, that was like 1,000 things in 2 seconds.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you. And then I think at the next meeting too, we can think if there's any,
other departments.
yeah, we can still fit those in around, but I'm glad that we got some of the bigger ones done that we had questions about.
Can I just, I'm sorry, can I just clarify when
Yeah.
highway, water, and solid waste would, the definite date and time for them?
Those would be
The
the
11th.
The 11th. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And those would all be,
I'm gonna give
no,
each.
highway, wait a
Do
minute.
water first, then highway.
Yeah.
Water, then highway, and solid waste.
I think water maybe give 15 minutes, solid waste give 15 minutes, and then give highway the balance. What do you all think?
That sounds
That
good.
sounds
Okay.
good, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would have highway last.
Yeah, we're gonna let highway have the,
And you might want to say highway/cemetery.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
they're together.
Steve also has solid waste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Well, we'll have Sue come in with
Sue
it.
coming with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like a plan.
So what's going on with wages? When can we expect more information on wages.
We just had the open
Depends on
meeting.
which question you're asking.
Are you- okay.
If you're asking about union, we haven't even started negotiations yet. Yeah, I think that's where really, so I have nothing, the selectmen are going to be talking to the chiefs and with Steve next Tuesday to start looking at our own proposals. I don't have anything obviously from the unions because we haven't even sat down with them yet, so.
Okay. So anything we have
But I would
right,
assume, unless something goes south, that we're going to at least be doing a 2% wage increase. I mean, that's not a surprise, even on camera, it's not a surprise, because, we've been able to do that the last few years for union and non-union. I don't see, again, unless something dramatic happens, that we won't be able to do something like that for everybody. But the challenge will be anything after that, both in terms of the quality, but also in terms of what the market conditions are. We have situations in some departments where retention is a problem, and we may need to be making some adjustments there, so.
so the information that we have today for some of these departments, because they had in the budget sheets the step and grade increases, so those are built in, I presume, based on time and performance or something?
Well, yeah, there's an annual evaluation for those people who still getting step increases. They're evaluated once a year. As long as the evaluation comes in satisfactory, it's basically assumed that they will, that those step increases are built in.
Okay.
Even without a cost of living increase or across the board wage increase, however you want to term it, the step increases are built in. If someone doesn't figure that out, then Sandy makes sure it gets adjusted to include that.
Okay. So whatever we have right now for increases is either hours and/or step or grade increase?
Right, the 260.
I don't think we've had any hours increases asked for, except for the ones that I've specifically marked.
I just, because I went through the Council on Aging, but I need to go back through it because I think they drastically increased the hours on one position, if I'm reading it correctly, and reduced some others, so.
I don't think so.
Unless it's a receptionist.
It's
It will-
No, receptionist went up to 40 hours last
the outreach coordinator had like
Yeah.
So they're
4
changing
days
the
or something.
rate.
Yeah.
So they changed it, right, so that's paid by a formula grant, and so that part of that formula grant pays for, I believe, for the nurse's position or outreach, who
Right.
she is the same position. And it's been years since they increased it, and I think it's going up from like $18 to $18.50 or something, but
Right.
it's paid by a formula grant, but we have to budget for it.
Right. It's a unclassified position, and they have not been included in the overall increases for the last 2, maybe 3 years.
Okay,
So that's why she's looking
Yeah,
for
so
a
you'll
change
see an
there.
increase there.
okay. But the hours is due to the grant paying for it the prior
Yeah,
year?
the hours are staying the same, it's just the rate, the hourly rate changing. And the other thing that changed is we replaced a step 1 with a step 3 in a different position, so you're gonna see a little bit of a bump there too.
What about like the van driver hours that fluctuate?
The van driver hours have been staying, she budgets for 82 hours, I think,
Split between?
split between all the drivers.
Okay.
And most of the drivers, in fact, I think the last driver went up to the top step this year, not last year. But most of the drivers are at the top step all the way up.
Okay.
So for wage and personnel, last year we had, shall I say, a robust discussion on right-sizing some functions' salaries. Is there any plan to address that this year?
Yeah, so we finished reevaluating the positions to see if we wanted to take another stab at it, to make sure that people were in the grade. There weren't a lot of surprises, there might be a couple of adjustments, but nothing major. We would go out and do a salary search to ensure that we are within the range and that we weren't that far off at certain positions. So, yeah, stay tuned.
And what's the plan to address the healthy discussion we had at town meeting? In terms of data to justify the recommendations. because like the fire chief, if I remember right, that was approved, but some other ones were
Yeah,
not.
well, that's, yeah.
Well, I think that those
That will
conversations,
be- That will be addressed at town meeting as well.
Yeah.
And we'll use the same information, and part of the discussion was that it wasn't the right time, well, this is the right time.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It wasn't so much, I think, about the data as was about the justification.
Yes, yes, not any other meeting.
The only other thing we have on the agenda for tonight is public participation. If anyone has, one thing we did want to mention is if anyone who's watching is interested or considering volunteering for the finance committee, to please fill out a talent bank form, which are available on the website, or you can call the selectman's office, because we have 3 more openings for potential finance committee members. And just as a reminder, the only requirements are to be a registered voter and resident in the town of Halifax. No prior financial experience is necessary, just a willingness to learn and help out, listen, discuss things. And as we've said in various other meetings, we all have very different backgrounds, but we all contribute to the discussion, and it's a really, really important factor in local government. So if anyone's interested in watching and considering it, please do come in and at least talk to us, and don't sort of count yourself out because you don't think you're experienced enough, because I guarantee that you would contribute meaningfully to the board or to the committee. Anything else? Any other housekeeping stuff for tonight? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourning at 8:49 PM. Thank you so much, everyone, for all the hard work tonight.